another payment method, which we've just launched now, which is direct debit. You're all familiar with this payment method, but it's actually the first ever embedded direct debit solution. So some of you may be using other products, which usually have to take you outside to some third-party portal, and you have to log in, and you have to obviously make sure afterwards that it's all reconciled with your NOMI. So we have just launched direct debit within NOMIPay. So just to show you what that looks like, I'm going to raise another invoice once again for Ilan NOMI demo 2311, and we'll do pretty much the same thing that we did before, DD test. We'll do this one for £100. And now we're not going to choose this radio button for the instant bank transfers and cards. Now we want to select direct debit, but direct debit is currently grayed out. The reason for that is because Ilan NOMI Demo 2311 is a new customer who doesn't have a mandate set up, a direct debit mandate set up yet. And there are two ways to set up a mandate for this customer. One is right from here, right from your invoice widget. And another I'll show in just very quickly, and then I'll come back to here, is through your customer list. You can go and see your customer list here. And you can see your whole customer base, and each one of them has now, we've added, or NOMI has added this direct debit column, which lets you know which customer has a mandate set up, which doesn't, which needs to be resent. So for that, Ilan demo, which one was it? Here we go, this one. This one needs to still set up a mandate, right? So this is another way you can do that. If you click here, it'll open a pop-up, and the same pop-up I will show comes up from the invoice page. So let's go back to our invoice. This is an invoice that I haven't even raised it yet. I want to charge this customer £100 via direct debit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click here to set up a direct debit mandate, and this will show me that pop-up that we just saw. Very flexible. You can change pretty much everything here. This is the email that your customer will get the invite to, or the request for setting up a mandate. You can change the subject. You can change the message. I'm not going to do that, but of course it's very, very flexible. And I'm going to go ahead and send that request. You can see that it's been sent successfully. And in a moment, I'll show you what that looks like on your customer side. But you can also copy this link here that says this is the mandate request link. You can copy that and you can send it to your customer any way you like, right? You can send it via SMS or email or WhatsApp or any other method you choose. But your customer did receive an email, and the email is the following. So it says, Ilan NOMI Demo, which is your customer's name, please set up a direct debit mandate. This is the email. And once your customer clicks on this link, they will be redirected to a setup flow, a mandate setup flow. Before I fill that in, I just want to show you what that looks like on the invoice. You can see that the invoice state has now changed. Direct debit is now selected, but it says that it's awaiting the customer's action, okay? Because the customer has to now set up direct debit, set up a mandate. And until that mandate is set up and active, obviously we cannot really charge direct debit collections, but we can still create this invoice. We can still raise the invoice with the intent of charging it with direct debit. And you can see it here, okay? So we have this invoice raised. We can see the preview, and this time the preview, remember that Pay Now button that led us to the card and open banking checkout? Now it will look slightly different. Now it will say, hi, hi buyer, hi Ilan 2510 NOMI vendor. We would like to set up a direct debit mandate. And this is another way for your customer to be able to set that up. Now, I do want to show one more thing before we set up that mandate, is what it looks like in your NOMIPay tab. So for now, this new tab has been added, Direct Debit. You can click on it. And within this tab, there are two sections. There's the mandate section and the upcoming collections section. The mandate section shows you all of your customers' mandates, all their statuses, all their references, all the information that you need to be able to manage your direct debit mandates from within NomiPay. You don't need to sign into any third-party portals, nothing. Everything is right here and very, very clear and visible. So we can see that Ilan Nomi Demo 2311 has received a request, right? So the mandate status is in sent status, which means that your customer now has to fill that mandate in. And we can see that we have created that £100 collection, which is currently pending the mandate, right? So again, if the mandate is not set up, this collection will not be made, and you will obviously have to discuss that with your customer, but we're going to assume that you've got a good customer who fills up their mandate and will give you that, that direct debit mandate. Back to the customer's view. So now the customer has to set up the mandate. A very, very short process. We'll give a bit of an overview of what direct debit is and, all the kind of details that they need to know. I'm going to quickly fill this in. Have to put in an email, phone number, address, nothing very surprising. And of course, most importantly, the bank details from which the collections will be made. So I'm just going to go ahead with our dummy account. And of course, I'm going to confirm that I'm allowed to set up this direct debit. And we're going to set it up. And that's all it takes from your customer. So that was, it was very quick for me because I know what to do. So your customer might take 4 minutes instead of 1. But it's a very, very simple process. Once that's set up, your customer doesn't need to do anything else, and everything will be reflected. So just to show you what that looks like here, we have this Ilan Nomi demo, right? So it was on status sent, and now we'll see where it's at. Now it's on pending approval. Okay, so it's all reflected in real time as things happen. And as Ash mentioned before, you're also notified in various ways about these steps, these critical steps. So you're notified within the app from here. Okay, so we can see that, yeah, sorry, I think we need to refresh. Yep, okay. So it says that Ilan Nomi Demo 2311 has submitted their direct debit mandate. That's great to know. That's important information. And I will also show some email correspondence that that we send out to make it very, very clear. Even if you don't log in all the time, we want to make sure that you're updated on every step of the way with your direct debit. So this is basically saying to the buyer, this is saying to your customer that the vendor is now charging them £100 in accordance with the invoice reference. So we're trying to give as much information here as possible. We also have the mandate reference here at the bottom. This is what's called the advance notice. And here's the email saying that your customer has now submitted their direct debit mandate. It'll take a couple of days to process, and we will update you once that's done. Similarly, your customer gets an email saying, thank you for submitting. It'll take a couple of days. So we're very, very communicative with all involved parties. I've gone ahead and shortened that period for approving the mandate. You can see that this mandate is now in active status. And we can also see that that upcoming collection that was £100, remember it was pending the mandate, now it's officially been created. And what that means is that it's been sent. So it has been triggered, and now it's waiting for backs, and it's got a bit of a process there, which I will now also show what that looks like and shorten it a bit. But you can see that now this invoice 29 will be taken with direct debit. So again, I'm going to go ahead quickly and make that payment happen. ahead and submitted that collection to Bax. So that status has in real time again changed to in progress. Once it's in progress, it cannot be cancelled anymore. And you can see that on the right here, if you've made an error, you selected the wrong amount, or your customer says for any reason, please cancel that direct debit payment, as long as it's in created mode or before it's been submitted to Bax, you can go ahead and cancel that. Once it's been submitted to Bax, it cannot be cancelled anymore. After being submitted to Bax, I'm now going to go ahead and make that be paid out. So it'll actually be, again, I'm just simulating this. This usually takes about 2 or 3 days. But now you can see that £100 has been charged. Okay, and if we want to see what that payment looks like, it'll take us back to our balance and activity tab, and we can see that specific £100 line with the fees, etc., and it's been charged. So it'll show the invoice as paid, and it'll show the bank, the banking details as well. But I do want to show you what that looks like from the messaging point of view. So once the mandate has been set up, your customer will receive an immediate email saying, now your vendor can charge you. And that's very important for us to reflect. And of course, the vendor, your business, will also receive that email saying, hey, great news, the direct debit mandate from Ilan Nomi Demo is now set up, and you can start collecting payments from them. Once that money has been sent, which is what we just simulated, that £100, you will receive a message saying, hi, you've received £100 from Ilan Nomi in accordance with invoice 29. So very, very communicative, very we want to make sure that everything is available and accessible, and everything is known in real time. That's more or less, and of course, again, you have the notifications here as well, which sometimes need to be refreshed, but you will see all those messages here as well.